welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we're doing a Q&A. So this is an opportunity for you guys to know me just a little bit more than you already do. So the last time I did one of these was back when this channel still belonged to me and my husband. So I thought it's right that I reintroduce myself, especially because I also got so many new subscribers of recent. So I asked you guys to ask me anything that you'd like to know about me, and you guys went for it. Sana. Love it for me, love it for us. You guys went for it. I was expecting light-hearted questions though. Oh, how old are you? If you were an animal, what animal would you be? But you guys went for it. But I'm here for it, and I'm gonna answer everything as best as I can. So I'm gonna be drinking this Bellini mango and coconut. As I said in one of my most recent vlogs, I'm trying to not drink as much. I can't even remember the last time I drank. I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So your girl is trying to I said I had acid sana because I've had it for quite a while now. I had bought it for this video, but I ended up drinking it and enjoying it. It's so nice. I also wanted to let you guys know about what to expect from this channel this year. I'm going to be doing many more sit downs, like apart from this one, and also just apart from the building content sit downs, I'm going to be doing other sit downs. I hope you guys will engage with my content as you already do. Sundays are still going to be for lovers and for my vlogs. So I'm going to start posting sit downs on Thursdays. I want to trial it with 2 Thursdays in a month, and the more consistent I am with that, the more Thursdays I'm going to include. But the plan ultimately by the end of this year is that I should be dropping 2 videos a week. Yeah. I think before I get into your questions, let me just give you guys a brief introduction of who I am. I am Anathi B. I am married to Sol Baloyi, hence Anathi B. I'm a mother to a 2-year-old baby boy and a stepmom to a beautiful baby girl. I'm 30 years old. I'm a born free. I'm turning 31 this year. My birthday is on the 2nd of May. If you want to super thanks all my videos on that day, that would be nice. I think some of the questions that I'll answer will also just shed light into who I am, where I'm from, and all of that. So let me get into those. I have the questions over here, so I'm going to look there as I'm reading the questions that you guys have asked me. So the first one is, what did you both study in tertiary, and for a bonus, where do you work? By both, they're referring to me and hubby. So I studied electrical engineering and hubby studied telecommunications. We're currently both working in the telecommunications industry for 2 of the biggest telecommunications companies here in South Africa. The second question is, how do you balance your life being a mom to a toddler, being a wife, content creator, and a home engineer? I said that. In all honesty, like, I'm not balancing it at all. Like, in all honesty, I feel like I'm juggling 10 balls and doing something too. The best way I know how to try and strike the balance is by being in the moment. So if I'm playing with my toddler, I literally focus on that, and that's all that I do. If I'm at work, I focus on working. When I'm spending time with my husband, I put my phone away, very, very far away, and I focus on bonding with my husband. When I'm editing, I fully focus on editing. So that's how I try to strike the balance. But in all honesty, it's difficult. I'm really not striving the way I should. I think one of the things that I'm trying to work towards this year is to develop discipline, so that discipline can allow me to develop a routine. I feel like if I had a set routine for my life, if I knew that every day I wake up at this time and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on Saturdays I edit, or Sundays I edit. Like, if I had a set routine for my life, things would flow in a much easier way. So that's what I'm working on actively this year. I think I started about 3 weeks ago. I'm starting to be much more intentional, and I'm starting to learn to structure my life. So once that is done and I'm able to develop routines, that's when I'll feel like I've struck a balance. But as of now, I'm juggling this, okay, I'm juggling, I'm catching where I can. As years yawa, I'm just trying to survive. I'm trying to keep my head above the water. The next question is, how do you take care of your mental health, as we always get caught up in doing this life and forgetting ourselves along the way? So, luckily for me, I'm not a person who struggles with mental health issues. But when I do get overwhelmed and I feel like everything is just coming at me at once, what I like to do is I like to go for walks, and I also like to do things that make me genuinely happy. Like, I'm a happy person already as it is, but there are those things that just boost your mood up. Right now, at this current juncture, what does boost my mood up is watching or listening to Shits and Gigs. It's a podcast. I listen to it here on YouTube. I don't know about the other platforms. Those guys make me laugh so much, and that makes me forget about my stress and my problems, because I am a person who loves laughing, love being happy. So I just feed off of that, and it makes me snap out of whatever I'm going through or whatever is heavy on me at that moment. And then with forgetting ourselves along the way, I think I struggled with that a lot, especially after having my child. Like, I got so caught up in being his mom that I forgot that before I was his mom, I was a wife to my husband and I was me. So this year I'm actively trying to not get back to who I was, but get used to my new norm. Like, I'm trying to get used to who I am now, what I like now. I'm trying to rediscover me and who I am. So this year I'm actively doing things that I like. I'm going out with my friends more. I'm going hiking more because I enjoy it. I'm using this as a new year. Not to say I'm going to neglect my baby and forget everything else, but I'm also going to try to pour into my cup, because what I'm learning more and more the older I grow is that you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't raise a happy baby if you yourself are not happy. So I'm actively trying to spend more time with myself and do more things that I like as well, so that I can be fully present for him. The next question is, how do you make time for fun and relaxation in such a busy life? Yo, it's been hectic. Like, it's been hectic. Up until right before my baby turned 2, me and my husband were taking care of him alone, fully. We had a helper that would come Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, but we didn't have anyone like to help us with him like 24/7. So it was just for those hours of the day when we were working, and then the rest was up to us since he was a baby. So we recently got a stay in, and I must say, I wish I had gotten a stay in so much sooner. It has made my life so much better. It's given me more time for myself. I'm able to run errands without the baby being there. I'm able to go out with friends. I'm able to go out on my own. So having that flexibility and having that much more time on my hands has helped me a great deal. So that's what's working for me. What's something most people don't know about you, but you think would help them understand you better? So one thing that I feel most people don't know about me is I don't like the idea of quitting. Like, I believe in giving everything your all, and I believe in pushing. Like, I don't believe in quitting. I don't believe in giving up. So when it comes to certain things, like when someone like just feels like giving up or wants to give up, because I'm that type of person, I generally don't understand when people choose to give up at the first sign of there being trouble. So I will say that this is not a big deal. Why are you giving up? And most people perceive that as me being harsh. Whereas I think it's that element of like me not being a quitter that's like pushing that narrative, or that habit onto other people as well. Like I really don't believe in giving up like at this first slightest inconvenience. I don't believe in that at all. So when people tend to do that, it makes me question them, and then when I question them, I come across as being harsh. I'm sorry. The next question is, how do you balance your personal goals with your relationships, like e.g. family, friends? When it comes to family, I think me and my husband are pretty much aligned. We both go getters and we align on what it is that we want to achieve and when. When it comes to friends, I try to look for a goal partner that's appropriate. Let me give an example. Like, I'm not sure if my English is making sense. Let me give an example. For an example, if I have a business orientated goal, I will gravitate towards those friends that have businesses and discuss those goals with them. I would go to Gogi because she has a deco company. I would go to Masiho because she has a bakery company, and I'll discuss my business goals or what I plan to do when it comes to the business space with them. If I'm thinking about wellness, eating healthy, working out, balancing motherhood and life in general, I'll go to my friend Lungile. Lungile is into wellness. She eats clean, she works out every day, she's a mom to two babies. So that's the person that I'll go to if I have a goal that's aligned to that. So I just try to separate the goals when it comes to the friends and align them to whichever friend it aligns to the most. It doesn't help speaking about working out to a friend who's not working out and who's comfortable with not working out. Yeah, so that's how I navigate that. The next question is, what drives you to push beyond your comfort zone and achieve your goals? And how do you handle self-doubt? It's back to that thing of me not liking to quit. Like, I hate quitting. I hate failure. I'm a perfectionist, so I always strive to do my best in each and every situation. Not to say that I'll succeed all the time, but let me fail having given it my best shot. Like, that's the type of person that I am, and that's the kind of energy that I try to carry throughout each and every single thing that I do in life. When it comes to self-doubt, whenever there's that little voice in the back of my head, I try to go to people that will speak life into me. Whenever I'm doubting myself when it comes to a certain venture, I will go to my best friend or my husband or my sister so that they speak life into me and revive that fighting spirit. But no, like, you can do this, like, go for it, you can do this. So that's how I handle self-doubt. I also do a lot of introspection whenever I'm doubting myself, and I try to figure out, but you go get her, and like, what makes you think that this particular thing is too big for you to go after or is too big for you to get. The next question is, how is married life, and what's one tip for staying married? Your marriage life is nice. Like, marriage life is nice. Don't let anyone lie to you. I always tell people that the people who speak negatively about marriage and married life are speaking based off their experience or their reality. And their experience and reality is not necessarily yours. So whenever someone tells you negative things about marriage and married life, that's what they've seen or that's what they've experienced. And that's not necessarily to say that that will happen to you or that's the same experience that you will have in your marriage. So, yeah, one of the tips that I'll give you for staying married is, don't let other people's reality influence your reality. So just because Utabo is saying marriage sucks while you're in a happy marriage doesn't mean you must start coming with those doubts that Tabo into your marriage. And the second one, which is the best advice that I've ever gotten, is focus on your person. Like, focus on your wife or on your husband. There's gonna be people in their families or in their circles that don't like you for whatever reason. Some people just don't like you because you didn't do anything to them, you've never said anything ill about them, they just don't like you because it's you. When I don't focus on that and try to bring that into your relationship and try to pick and argue about you, why does mama not like me? When I focus on the person who brought you here, the person that you fell in love with, at the end of the day, none of those people were there when you guys were asking each other out and charming each other and falling in love with each other. So focus on the person that brought you there. The next question is there a piece of advice you've received that stuck with you throughout your life? Not throughout my life per se, but throughout my corporate life. I don't know if you can apply it to life in general, but the piece of advice was be useful and be user friendly. That's advice that I got in the corporate space and that I try to apply. The next question is, if you could start a new career or project tomorrow, what would it be and why? When it comes to career, I can't think of anything right now, but project is definitely another YouTube channel. Guys, I love YouTube. I love YouTube, and I want to start 2 more channels for now. I want to start a true crime channel, and I also want to start a YouTube education channel. Those are niches that I love so much. I love those niches. I love YouTube. So that's what I would start if I were to start a project tomorrow. The next question is, do I jam to deep house? The reason this question was asked is because my husband is a deep house DJ. And in all honesty, I don't hate deep house. Like when he's listening to it, like I always say, oh, switch it off, I don't like the sound of it or whatever. I will listen to it. It's nice music. I move to it, although I can't dance. But like I genuinely do enjoy it. But it's not my go-to music. Like I wouldn't just like put on a mix deep house on a random day and listen to deep house. I'm an old school R&B, hip hop and rap girly, and that's the kind of music that I gravitate towards. But I don't have any beef with deep house music. The next question is, what's one challenge you've overcome that shaped who you are today? And closely related to this, what does it take to succeed coming from a small town in the rural areas? Let me answer the first part. What's one challenge that I've overcome that shaped who I am today? I think the biggest one is losing my parents at a young age. So I lost my dad when I was 13, 14, and I lost my mom right after I turned 16 years old. Being a last born, like I don't think I would have pushed as hard as I did in life had that not happened in my life. You know, like I was gonna have that sense of there's backup. Yeah. So now I made sure that I push as much as I possibly can in life, because although my sister is there as my backup, but my sister has her own life to live, and it would be very unfair on me to impose on that life. So I tried my level best to make the best out of every opportunity that I was offered, so that I don't have to be a burden on my sister, because if we're being honest and fair, I'm not her responsibility, you know. So I think the loss of my parents is what played that for me in my life. And what does it take to succeed coming from a small town in the rural areas? I think when you are in that small town, you think that that's all there is to life. You think that that small town is all there is, like this is the ceiling, there's no going beyond this. I think what it takes to succeed is tapping into a mindset where this is not it. Like this is not the whole of South Africa. This is not the whole of the world. So although you might not get opportunities there in that small town, try your level best to look outside of that. I don't want to lie, when I was in the small town when I was 15, 16, before moving to Mpumalanga, that's all I could think about as well. When I was writing exams or writing maths and English Olympiads. I was thinking that I'm competing with the people in my grade, I'm competing with the people in my school, in my town. I wasn't thinking beyond that. So I think realizing that there's more to life besides that small town, and the world is so much bigger than that small town, will take you very, very far. Like, you'll realize that there's opportunities out there that you haven't tapped into, that you need to tap into. You'll realize that you have to work hard here and excel here so that you can excel outside and like above and beyond that small town. The next question is, what's been the best part of 2024 for you? I think for me, the best part of 2024 was a promise kept. Happy and I always promised his grandmother that we would build her a house. So having done that and having her move into the house within the same year when we started building it was like a huge milestone for me. Like, it felt like, okay, this is something. So that was the best part of 2024 for me. Question 14 says, what inspired you to become a content creator and how did you get started? Hey, yes, guys, for the longest time, I didn't consider myself a content creator. I think it's only starting to dawn on me now that I actually am a content creator. Now, for the longest time, I just thought like I'm a YouTuber, like I'm a vlogger. I know that's still content creation, but like I don't know if you get me. But what inspired me to become a content creator was consuming content. So I started consuming YouTube back in 2019. I was mostly watching couples channels like Risan Kwan. Here in South Africa, I was watching Obaba Zola. And like me consuming that content gave me the idea that actually this is something that I would want to try. Like, this is something that I want to try, and this is something that I think I would be okay at. Yeah. Back then, I wasn't consuming lifestyle content that much. It was mostly couples content and beauty girlies, like makeup tutorials and all of that. Hair installations, although I can do none of that right now, but that's what I was consuming mostly. So when I started, so that's when the idea got planted in my head that this is actually something that I could do. I remember I was still staying with my friend Noktula back then. It's like, this is something that I could actually do. But I brushed it to the back of my head, and then came 2020. I met my husband, and as soon as I met him, I was like, let's start a YouTube channel. He wasn't keen on the idea. The problem, like the reason I wanted to start a YouTube channel with him is I felt like I had nothing to offer on my own because I wasn't a beauty girly. As I said, I hadn't started consuming lifestyle content at that point in time. So I felt because I'm a girl and I can't do beauty content, I don't have anything to offer on my own. Hence, I wanted to now start a couples channel with my husband, then boyfriend. So he wasn't keen on the idea. I brushed it off for like a year or two. And I regretted so much. I wish I had started that channel early 2020 or late 2019, because then COVID happened. Everyone was consuming content online so much. I literally would have blown up. I regret not starting then. But anyways, fast forward to, was it 2022? 2022, I bring up the thing again. Now the bike is beating me. I really want to start the channel now. I bring it up to him again. He's still not keen. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this on my own. I created an intro, created a banner, created the channel. Right as I'm in the swing of things, guys are like, oh, actually, we can do this YouTube thing together. So I had to scratch that banner, scratch that intro, do something for the both of us. And that's how our channel started. Started off as a couples channel. The idea was to do challenges and do sit downs as well. We ended up leaning more towards challenges because whenever we needed to do a sit down, guy would always come with stories, like he didn't want to get into the deep stuff. And I think for the longest time with this channel, I also didn't want to get into the deep stuff. I'm realizing that it wasn't just him alone. I also didn't want to get into the deep stuff. But this year, I'm getting into that. I'm doing all of that content that I've been scared to do this year. The next question is, how do you choose the topics for your content, and what kind of research or preparation do you do before filming? So at this point in time, for the niche that I'm in, my channel hasn't required much research. The only research that I'll do is when I'm about to do a building video, I'll sit together with my husband, we'll discuss the financials, because he's the one who keeps track of what we spent on what. So it'll just highlight for me that this is what we spent on this and this and this, and I'll film the video with his help. So that's the amount of preparation that I do when it comes to the building content. But when I do go into YouTube education and the true crime, that's when I'll really need to start doing research. For vlogging, you don't need to do research, you just live in your life and then you're just taking the camera along with you. The next question is, do you sit down and plan a video before shooting? If so, what tricks would you share with other creators for coming up with fresh ideas? For vlogging, as I said, I don't sit down and plan my content, but I know some vloggers plan their days. Like for an example, like you'll have a to-do list, but I need to go to the laundromat, I need to take the dog to the vet, I need to go to the dentist, and I need to get the child immunized. You will have those 4 things as a vlogger on your to-do list. What some people do is they will decide, now, okay, on Monday this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to vlog it, on Tuesday this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to vlog it, on Wednesday this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to vlog it. I aspire to get to that point, but as of now, I just live my life and I just literally take the camera with me. I do plan in the sense, Yoba, if I'm gonna cook and I wanna vlog, I'll cook earlier, because I don't like vlogging at night with artificial lights. I prefer natural light. So those are the type of planning that I do so far. But because this year is the year where I'm becoming more serious with my content, I also want to get to a point where I plan out and schedule my content properly. I also want to focus on TikTok and Instagram a whole lot more, and that will require a whole lot more of planning. But unfortunately at this point I cannot advise on how to plan it, because I don't plan it out that much. What I do sit down and come up with content ideas for is the building content. With building content, I had an idea from the get-go, because there's a building channel that I watched. So I had an idea of how I'm going to structure my building content. Unfortunately for me, because I'm not based there full-time and I wasn't taking most of the content myself at the time, I had to work with whatever content was taken and try to structure it accordingly. But going into it, I did have an idea, although it didn't pan out that way. But I'm very happy with how it worked out. Tricks that I would share with other content creators for coming up with fresh idea: do not sleep on ChatGPT. Do not sleep on it. Say to ChatGPT, tell me more about the YouTube channel Anathi B. ChatGPT will pop out information. It will tell you that Anathi is a mom to a toddler, she's a lifestyle vlogger. She also touches base with her audience about a house that she's building in the village. Say to ChatGPT, okay ChatGPT, give me content ideas for Anathi B. ChatGPT will tell you my morning routine with a toddler, my nighttime routine with a toddler. Like, it will give you ideas basically that you can write down and then formulate content from there on. But the next question is, would you say content creation requires money? Elaborate, my dear. I do think that content creation requires money. For an example, me with the building content, I can't give you guys building content without spending money. But on a lighter note, also, like, it depends on what your niche is in content creation. So it requires money, but not the same amounts of money. For an example, if you are a travel vlogger, traveling is expensive, and that's money. If you are a lifestyle vlogger that does cleaning, like if you do clean with me, declutter my house with me, although to some people it might seem that that doesn't require money, it requires money because you need cleaning products. You can't do a reset or come clean with me and then use sunlight to mop your floors. You need to be using handy andy, you need to plug us with different cleaning products. So content creation does require money, just not the same amount of money for all the content. I guess some content that might not require money are like sit downs, like where you're speaking about wellness, or like you speaking on becoming your higher self. You wouldn't require money to shoot that particular content, but the lifestyle you live will require you to live as your higher self, and that will require money now. So it does require money, different amounts in different situations. In this super competitive world of content creation, how do you discipline yourself to stay true to who you are? How do you handle and overcome the pressure? As I said in responding to one of the questions, I don't consider myself a content creator as such. I just see myself as a little girl who's just recording her life, and people happen to like it. So I don't live like under that pressure, like the girlies are buying this certain item, now I feel like I need to buy it. The girlies are doing eyelashes, the 850, now I also need to do that. That's not like the type of person that I am, that's not how I live. I buy what I like if I like it. I buy what I can relate to if I relate to it. I buy what I like if I like it. Like I buy what's relatable to me. I don't go based off of trends. Hence the pressure doesn't get to me. And I've always been like a strong-willed type of person. So as well, peer pressure and pressure were never really my thing. So I just do me. If I happen to see an influencer buying something expensive that I happen to like and I can afford it and I want it, then I'll buy it. But I don't live under that thing. You're like, oh, I'm a content creator. Every content creator is doing this, so I must also do this. I don't live like that. The last question is, losing both parents is a devastating experience that can influence people in distinct ways. Can you share how your older siblings coped with the loss compared to you, and what motivated you to excel academically? So when it comes to this question, I did ask my older sister for her response, but I'll start off by giving my response. So my dad passed away when I was 13, and my mom passed away when I had just turned 16. So we lost our parents pretty young. I think my sister was in her early 20s when we lost our mom. From there, my sister took me and my late brother in, and we were raised by her from the time when we were teenagers. So for me, when we lost our parents at the time, I didn't really clock the long-term effect of not having parents. Like my sister and my brother were there for me, they stepped in and played that role, and I didn't clock just how much I would really need like that parental guidance and need my parents like at a later stage in life. I think it might have affected my sister more because she had to literally put her life on hold and become a parent to us at such a young age. So she had to be responsible. She had to make sure that we go to school, we fed, we dressed, like all of that responsibility fell on her. Whereas I got to continue living. I got to continue chopping it up and being a teenager. I think for me, when it actually clocked that not having parents is tough is during like those certain milestones in life, like as you grow up. For an example, when I got married, I had to go to Eastern Cape with my friends. Like my friends were the ones who were helping me prepare everything, because my sister was still at work, and her and my brother came down to Eastern Cape a bit later. But in a normal setup where parents are there, it would be my parents will make sure that everything is there. It would be my parents will make sure that the ship is there, that there's groceries to cook for the in-laws and all of those things. But that responsibility now fell on me. Even after having my child, I don't have that experience. You were like, I'm so tired, let me just take my child to my parents to go look after him. That responsibility falls on my sister, and I have to be mindful of the fact that my sister also has her own life. So I think it affected us differently. So I remember after my mom passed away, my sister sat us down in the car and she was like, guys, we all don't have parents. I don't want you guys to feel sorry for yourselves. I don't want you guys to feel like I owe you anything. I don't want you guys to feel like the world owes you anything. I need you to go out there and work as hard as you possibly can to make something out of yourselves. I think that's one thing that's always stuck with me, that like I need to work hard. Like I need to work hard to make sure that I live a comfortable life. I live a life where I don't burden anyone. So for me, that's how that motivated me. I think part of me excelling academically also came from that, because I didn't want my sister to have to worry about paying for me to go to varsity. Meaning I had to work my ass off in matric and make sure that I get a bus that's going to take me to varsity, because I don't want her to do more than she should. Like I always make sure that I have to excel, because I want to lessen the burden on my sister, because this is not a burden that she should be carrying in the first place. So that's my side of the story. Here's my sister's response. My sister says, I believe it did affect my perception of the world and also how I relate to everyone around me. It more than anything taught me survival and relying on no one but myself. Lastly, your acumen to identify opportunities and reliance on a higher being grows as you learn that not all decisions taken are for comfort, but are more about ensuring a solid future. Failure is just an opportunity to learn new ways of doing things, as failure is an option. So that's my sister's part of it. I think most of this goal-driven personality that I had stems from my sister and from her teachings. As you guys heard her response, that lady does not believe in playing around and messing up opportunities. So I always am that type of person also, who strives to identify opportunities and grab them as best as I can. I hope you guys did enjoy this Q&A, and I hope it taught you guys just a little bit more about who I am and what type of person I am. If you watched up until this point, drop the secret emoji below in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.